So round 4 of the Six Nations, Wales Defiant in defence, Scots run out of firepower, Ireland dominate France, and Johnny May tackles an Italian doctor. Hi guys, welcome back. So we've got Scotland 11, Wales 18. We better start there because Wales are on for the Grand Slam, and it's really a story of fantastic defence and gutsing it out in that second half for Wales. And the real story really was after the final whistle, where Gatland admits that the controversy, the problems in the Welsh regional game, in the domestic game, really affected the players in their build-up. I'm sure on the day they were focused on the day, but there's a reason you prepare for games, and their preparation wasn't very good. So really in the face of that as well, it's just an excellent defensive display, and they saw it out. They won when it wasn't going their way, particularly in that second half. But in the first half, Scotland weren't that great. They were a bit anemic, I'd call it. Their pace of attack, when they go in the red zone, they would have to slow down their rucks quite a lot. Whereas Wales really picked up their pace of attack, their ruck speed was really quick, and their waves of attack were really good. And they looked comfortable in defence. So Wales in that first half, for me, I couldn't really see how they were going to lose it. They were looking really good, better in attack, better in defence. But then in the second half, Scotland had huge possession. And Wales defended well, their organisation was excellent, but every time they turned over the ball and attacked, they'd make a mistake. And Scotland would be back on the attack, and they had lots of really good attacking possession in the red zone, in the Welsh 22. And they scored one really nicely worked try through Darcy Graham, who had excellent footwork all game. He looks exciting. If tiny, he looks exciting. That was good, but apart from that, they just didn't have enough firepower. They couldn't penetrate the Welsh defence. It was too organised. And that's what the second half was all about. I guess for the Welsh looking forward, you can't give good sides that amount of time in your red zone attacking because you're going to lose. Fortunately, I guess, today Scotland weren't good enough, and their defence was really good, but you just can't give away that amount of possession. So that will be their work on, but there were extenuating circumstances, I suppose. Scotland, let's have a quick look at their team. There just wasn't enough punch there. I looked through the whole team. In the forwards, some forwards I thought performed really well. I liked the flankers. Bradbury and Ritchie were really good. When Watson came on, he was outstanding. Surely he should have been starting, even if they could get 60 minutes out of him. In my preview show, I said if he's fit, he must start, surely. They didn't. Maybe that was a mistake. And also in the forwards, they were carrying a player. Really carrying a player. Have a think who you think it is. It's Nell. Nell was awful. In that second half, watch him. He is so unfit. It's awful. He's not match fit. He was struggling to get from ruck to ruck. He wasn't making any positive impacts. I watched him carefully for a good 10 minutes. And if he did get a carry, he was trundling because he was so knackered. He was literally leaning onto rucks. They were playing with 7 men in attack there. The rest of the Scottish forwards looked really fit. If they were lacking a bit of punch, possibly. I thought Bradbury actually carried pretty well, kind of head down sort of player. But anyway, in their back line, Russell, I think, is playing really well. He's looking good, he's looking dangerous, very assured. He just did not have the firepower around him. Horn is a bit of a liability, to be honest, in attack. He's got a great ball handling skill set, but he's got no attacking threat. He's tiny, he's not that quick. You're going to target him. Plus, they didn't have Hogg, so there's no excuses for Scotland, but I guess there are reasons. They didn't have the firepower in that back line to go with Sexton. If they're going to play a 10-12 playmaker, maybe it is best just to go Hastings and Russell, because they are the two best players. On to Wales. It was just a really good, controlled, defensive performance. They made mistakes in attack, and they did give away some penalties for sure, but in defence they didn't lose their shape that much. They were very quickly up. I think like Jonathan Davis, who pushes up from 13, is a key part of their defence. Some really strong stuff, and I think they'll just be happy to get away with that win. They went for away win. Scotland were thinking they could definitely win this match, and they had the possession to do it, But Wales literally said, okay, we're not playing that great in the second half. Here's our defence. Can you break it down? And they couldn't. You know, they did it once, but not enough. So well done, Wales. They move on. Scotland will be very disappointed, and they've just got to admit we're not quite good enough at the moment with those players they have out on the day. Will they get some back from the England match? Well, Watson surely has to start. Can they get Hogg back? That would be a big plus for them. But Wales march on. Then the second match of the Saturday was the England-Italy match. And Italy, I actually thought, attacked quite well. They've done it all championship. I've mentioned it before. Their attacking shape is good. They play with pace. Allen is a creative player. Lovely tries. But this England side, for pure talent and physical talent, it's probably the most talent I've seen on a pitch since 2003. I'm serious. Plus, you add in Atoja, you add in Laws, maybe Underhill, Vunipola's the other guy I'm thinking of, Mako Vunipola. That is the most talented England team we've had for a long time. That being said, there are frailties, certainly defensively. They can get very narrow and they can get found out. So sides will look for chinks in their armour, which there are, but for pure physical talent, it's right up there. It's world class. Great to see Tuolangi come to the party. You just can't contain him after you've gone through so many powerful phases before. Thockenasiga is fantastic. His work in the air is really good. He can catch it two-handed above his head in the air, which is a really useful cross-field kicking and chasing. Johnny May put a big shot on the Italian doctor, which I actually genuinely think was the best point in the match for me. His stuff in his bag goes flying. He's okay, so it's all right. But yeah, it was over. It was over very quickly. England win the bonus point. And I thought the game might stall a bit, but to be fair, England came back and finished strong as well, putting a massive score on the Italians. Now, the Italians, they're not a bad side, and I know the term Tier 2 is a bit general because everyone's on a scale, aren't they? But Italy are basically a Tier 2 side playing in a Tier 1 competition, and this is what's going to happen. Do you have relegation? Would Georgia do better? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So it's hard to know what Italy can do. They're probably trying their hardest. They're just not quite good enough. However, for them, they've got France last. And let's just go straight on to France, I think, because that game is pretty much done. France were absolutely woeful. So in summary, Ireland 26, France 14. Ireland were completely dominant in this game. So almost ignore the 14, that was 5 minutes at the end. For the rest of the 75 minutes, Ireland just smashed France. They controlled the game, and yes, France were absolutely abysmal, embarrassingly so. After such a good performance, they were up for it in the last game at home, they were really intense. Their psychology is just appalling, especially away from home. It has been for a long time. I don't know what it is. Tell me why the French player psychology is so poor away from home. I don't know. And just so many mistakes, embarrassing mistakes from the French. Line-out throws being drilled at feet. Kicks that just are wisping in the air. Just awful, terrible positioning. Their backfield again, just awful at times. Their ruck positioning really poor. And they were camped in their own 22, and deservedly so. Ireland did what they do well when they go through their phases, is they got over the gain line again and again and again and again, and they were battering away at that French line. I couldn't believe it was only 7-0 at 15 minutes. I think one thing Ireland would have wanted to do is score more points in that first 15, 20, 25 minutes. They could have really put them away a lot quicker possibly. But, you know, that's a little thing. Ireland did drop the ball a bit. They weren't perfectly accurate, but they were in complete control. The carries were good. They got to practice some stuff. Sexton's try was really nice. You know, the two French players just running into each other, bouncing off each other because of the confusion caused. That was cool. Anyway, so then about 30 minutes, I think it's all over, pretty much 90-0 at half time. And then they get their bonus point try, and Ireland empty the bench. I think that's the right thing to do. Game was over, get your bench on, give them lots of time, and it was looking pretty good actually. You had Cooney and Carty coming on. I thought they controlled the game well, the tempo kept going well, until that last 5 where The first French try was really poor defensive alignment from Ireland, for sure. And then the second French try, Irish will be disappointed again because they got no one even near to holding up the ball, even though possibly France held up their own ball. Anyway, so maybe park that last 5 minutes. The 75 minutes was very good. Players to mention, a Stander I thought was excellent. His carrying was really, really strong. James Ryan, same again, really physical. Very good in his carries. Sexton looked great actually, he looked really on it, looked really in control. I liked his game. Not sure about Murray, it was pretty average to me, but like I said, he's still coming back from his injury. I think that is affecting his game. And Jordan Lama is so unpredictable in attack. He must be a nightmare to try and run a support line on, but if he doesn't know where he's going, no one else does either, neither did the defence. So exciting to see him. Really easy, if you like, but well worked, solid win for Ireland. That's good for them going to Wales, although they do have one less day turnaround to prepare, which could be quite big actually. But they're very capable, they'll want to be more accurate. Wales will obviously be incredibly up for it to win the Grand Slam at home. Hopefully that all builds up into a fantastic finale. If Ireland manage to beat Wales, and that is a big if, then it's all on. England could win, Ireland could win, there's lots of scenarios, but if Wales win, they win the Grand Slam, they win the whole thing, and they'll have done it on fantastic psychology, commitment to the team, team spirit, all that sort of thing. That would probably be the story of the championship if they won it. Anyway, it set up really nicely. I quite enjoyed the different types of game of round 4, even though some of them weren't fantastic. Scotland will be very disappointed. Wales and Ireland and England will be very happy, I think, with what they've done there. So it all rolls on to the last round. So until then, I'll see you later.